Hi, I'm Steve Sample with Bama Talk. Don't miss a single episode of Bama Talk Show, available now on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app, and on the web at bigbrainsmedia.com.
I'm meteorologist Brian Peters with your Weather Xtreme video for Sunday, June the 23rd. And what a beautiful day we're starting out with. There's a look at the Skycam imagery from Tuscaloosa and a beautiful clear shot of the sun coming up this morning. Another shot of the sun coming up from Fayette. Not quite as clear as we see a few high clouds that blocked some of the moon shots last night. Surface high pressure is gradually moving just a little bit further eastward, and as it does, the flow at the surface is going to become a little bit more southerly, and this should help to gradually increase moisture levels just enough that we should see isolated showers today and then them becoming more widely scattered on Monday and into much of the upcoming work week. In the upper atmosphere, we've been watching this little spinning low, this little weakness in the flow over eastern Tennessee and extreme western North Carolina for the last couple of days, and that feature is expected to gradually weaken and move off to the northeast, and as it does, the upper ridge will replace it. This morning, temperatures once again back around the 70-degree mark, just a little bit cooler in the northeastern part of Alabama, where you see 63 at Fort Payne, so almost a coolish morning for some folks. The main severe weather threat and the main active weather is across the northern tier of the United States and the north central part of the United States. You can see those green areas up there in parts of the Dakotas and Wisconsin, Iowa, and Minnesota. And those are all flash flood watches, and there's a couple of warnings in there as well where they've been having a good deal of rain. From the QPF, you can see that the rain is being forecast to occur primarily from the western Great Lakes area, across the Great Lakes and over into the mid-Atlantic states, and that is a reflection, of course, that the westerlies are pushed a little bit further north. Also reflecting that the westerlies are further north is a slight risk for day one from the Storm Prediction Center, and that slight risk covering parts of Colorado, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. The day two risk shifts a little bit, but not really a whole lot, but then on day three, we do see a little bit of a shift to the east as the systems move a little bit further. Again, summertime, things a little bit slower. The main day three risk over the Great Lakes and up into New England. And the tropics remain quiet at this particular hour, and that's good news. All right, here's the 060 GFS model run, and moisture increasing just a little bit, so I think the best threat for showers and thunderstorms during the day is going to come in the afternoon with daily heating over the southeast sections. That is kind of Auburn, Montgomery, and down towards Mobile. Those are going to be the main threat areas. As I say, by Monday, the upper air pattern, we see that little feature up over Pennsylvania that has been spinning over extreme eastern Tennessee, and that feature moving on out, and the ridge, grasping hold a little bit stronger. And of course, with that, I think we'll see widely scattered showers over much of the southeastern U.S. We don't see much change in the pattern on the Tuesday. The ridge still there, about the same, but we do see a number of different impulses moving across the Great Lakes and back into the northwest U.S., and of course that very deep low off the northwest coast. The pattern begins to dampen just a little bit as far as the ridge goes on Wednesday in response to those strong short waves coming out of south central Canada. We see that the ridge builds a little bit stronger over the Rockies on Thursday as the troughiness begins to hint at development over the eastern half of the country. That troughiness becoming much more identifiable on Friday, and we see a nice closed low just to the north of Lake Superior there that is going to be helping to dig in. And with that, I think we begin to see the possibility of a front coming out of the Great Lakes area and coming down, edging down towards the Ohio River Valley on Friday. By Saturday, the trough, of course, sharpening up quite a bit. And the good news here is the couple of things. First, we've seen consistency on the GFS. It's coming up with the same solution from model run to model run. So that's bringing confidence pretty high. In addition to that, as we look at the European, you can see that it's also coming in with the same solution. Now, there's still a little bit of model differences, as there almost always are. And those model differences primarily are that the European is a little bit stronger with the trough than what the GFS is. So the stronger it is, of course, the better the chances of that cold front will make it all the way down into the southeastern U.S. So kind of pulling for the European at the moment. Back to the GFS on Sunday, a week from today, we see that the trough definitely down into the southeastern U.S. And so that brings at least a frontal zone down into the area, which means that next weekend we might see more chances for rain than we're seeing this particular weekend. Now, extending the forecast out into voodoo country, and the GFS closes off that trough and becomes a closed low over southern Michigan. And that's, of course, keeping the trough over us. So that keeps things rather unsettled along the east coast of the United States and down into the southeastern U.S. And then finally, at the end of the period, as we head out to 372 hours, this is the 8th of July, we see that the trough has weakened substantially as the overall ridge pattern is pulling into the central part of the United States and establishing itself pretty well over the midsection of the country. And that would certainly mean that we're returning to a more typical summer kind of pattern, and the heat should be returning. Well, that'll do it for the Weather Xtreme video for today. James Spann should be back from his vacation first thing tomorrow morning with the next edition of the Weather Xtreme video. In the meantime, I hope that you enjoy the day, and Godspeed.
Thank you for trusting us to be your #1 source for news
in all of Central Alabama.
in back-to-back ratings periods.
More people watched ABC 3340
than any other station in Birmingham.